fat tires, full suspension, a huge battery and a powerful motor. Is it the right formula for making a great and fun to ride e-bike? This is what we're going to find out after getting to know the Cyrusher XF900. Let's inspect. Hey, really good to meet you, Michael, my name. What we do on the channel is to inspect fresh and cool tech, and this here, it's the biggest, the heaviest and the most expensive Chinese e-bike I've ever shown you on this channel. Therefore, I really hope there would be less corners cut and we're going to see a lot of good features and pretty decent real-life performance given the price tag. And I'm bringing this review due to two major reasons. The first one because I want to show you all the strengths and weaknesses based on real life usage, and secondly because Cyrusher asked me to try it out and let you know what I think, so here's my thorough review. Cyrusher is a brand I've heard of before, but this is my first bike from their product line that I try. The money that you need to spend on it is a bit more than the budget e-bike segment, and it's getting closer to some budget-oriented mountain e-bikes from the big brands. This here is built with the idea to serve you well at any kind of terrain, feels very comfortable leaving the asphalt behind and doing some real exploring off-roads. The review is based on experience and impressions collected through my first 100 kilometers riding it. I've stumbled across numerous surprises about it, and we're already unboxing it so that I can show you quickly how to set it up. Obviously, this is a big box that it arrives with. The weight of the bike is around 34 kilos and a few more added by the package, which means that you might need somebody else to help you with the setup. To make it even more challenging, the pack was not one of these that let you use the cut the bottom hack, so I had to pull all of these 34 kilos up. The setup procedure can be very straightforward and easy if you have the right set of tools. There's an extra box provided by Cyrusher containing a pump, some tools, the battery, the charger, most of the things that you need for the setup. I didn't find a user guide included with mine, but there are a bunch of documents residing on Cyrusher's official website, and it looks like there's focus on customers, since there also is a well-maintained owner's Facebook group. Truth is, however, that some of the accessories included are with horrible quality, like the universal tool set, which is so cheaply made that it is almost never trustworthy. Same with the wrench tool, which got loose after the first time that it was under a bit more load. The most challenging bit at the beginning is mounting the front wheel. Luckily, it comes with a quick release mechanism, which helps a lot with transportation sometimes because you can remove the wheel within just seconds. To complete the setup procedure, install the stem. There are no cables that you need to connect extra, just take care of the screws and adjust the levers of the brakes and the gears so that you feel comfortable accessing them while riding. Adjust the seat post, mount the pedals, install the battery, you're done. Because of the issues with the tools, it took me this time close to 27 minutes to complete the setup, while usually these procedures take me between 5 and 10. Anyhow, before showing you all of these components one by one and their performance in real-life situations, time to check about the specs. There's a 750-watt Bafang rear hub motor. Promised top speed is around 45 km per hour, 26 by 4 inches fat tires, 816 watt-hour battery, 150 kg maximum payload, aluminium frame, front duocrown air fork suspension, rear spring shot, hydraulic disc brakes, 21-speed Shimano drivetrain, nice and beautiful display, and weight of the bike with the battery is around 34 kilos. Specs are always something pretty nice to cover and think about, and very often they drive you in direction deciding to buy something or not. And especially when you hear 17 ampere-hour removable battery, this awesome looking front suspension, the rear suspension, the Bafang motor with peak power of close to 1.5 kilowatts, the 21-speed drivetrain, it must be the best value e-bike of that size. And it could be, but I think we better check the details. For instance, if we start with this derailleur. Yeah, I know that very often I do point to this weakness, but Shimano Tourney, this is the lowest grade of Shimano's derailleurs. It costs between $18 and $20, even after the price spikes in the past months. Well, obviously Cyrusher could have invested like $7 more to give you the Shimano Altus, which would give much better performance, because this thing here, it's noisy, it's not precise, very difficult to configure, and at some point it's going to start failing you. But the rest, I think the frame, pretty awesome. The construction is very solid, and the feeling when you're riding, I think it's about time to put this motor and the front suspension under a bit more load. Let's begin by exploring the motor performance, and I'm gonna leave the battery management for a little later. 750 watts Bafang rear hub motor with peak power of close to 1.5 kilowatts. Compared to the popular 250 watt motors, this is a beast. Sadly, in certain countries, this may not be entirely legal in bike lanes and may be classified as a moped. This is something you better clarify before ordering in order to avoid headaches or fines. If you wonder whether the XF900 has power to go up hills, the answer is definitely hell yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. The possibility to press the lever and do no pedaling and still get speeds above 40 km per hour for enjoying this super smooth riding makes you feel as if you're riding an indestructible bike, and that's too tempting, and this totally affects the battery life. Cyrusher promised range of up to 100 km per charge. This converts into close to 25 no matter the road in pure electric mode, as if I'm riding an electric scooter. If you assist by pedaling, multiply this value by 2, but this still is a lot less than the promised range despite the fairly large battery. In my opinion, there's a reasonable explanation, and that's the absence of a torque sensor. Some more advanced e-bike have such a feature, and it provides more power should you apply greater strength by pedaling. With Cyrusher XF900, it gives you the maximum motor power until you reach the speed threshold. So the 5 different gears basically represent increments of a few kilometers per hour difference in the range between 15 and 45 kilometers per hour. This is why the battery management is not so optimal, and you can achieve good range only through real strict discipline of trying to stay at lower gear and use your legs muscles in order to move the bike. While the motor is superb, the controller and the sensors used could have been a bit better. The other super interesting part is the front fork, which maybe Cyrusher wanted to look like an expensive one from Fox, for instance. I was surprised to see that it actually is way responsive than expected, air spring type, and looks like the part itself is fairly expensive. Because of prior experience with Chinese e-bikes, this here easily has surpassed the expectations, but I do believe that it doesn't show its full potential with these fat tires. Still, together with the motor and the excellent display, I believe these are the best components on this e-bike. The rear suspension is not that effective, and due to the weight added by the motor and the rack, it always feels as if you're glued to the ground. I guess Cyrusher keep this rear suspension mostly because of marketing purposes. Effectiveness, it's hard to notice. From the remaining essential components, brakes, they are hydraulic by the company's Zoom. Under heavy load and high temperatures, I felt certain vibrations, so that's been a little concerning given the weight of the bike and high speeds that you can achieve. You know that upgrading this component on an e-bike is not that easy. I'm not saying that braking experience is bad, just make sure to keep an eye on the brakes from time to time. Going further, and next we look in direction accessories. Shifters are okayish, kind of old but nice. The front crankset also has 3 plates, so that you can count on a total of 21 gears. Even just 7, given the motor power, would have been enough for this bike. There's a bell, front and rear light, with the rear one being independent from the electric system. I did mention the awesome display, visible at any point of time. There are mud guards that could be mounted or not. The rack was pre-installed. I considered removing it for the time I work on the video, but then reconsidered because it is a special highlight and you can use it for some heavy loads. Last comment here would be about the frame. It belongs to the type one size fits all, and you probably would agree that it looks good for tall people. Some words about the challenges that I faced and the things which I consider as problematic or not optimal. The lack of torque sensor at this price is kind of unexpected. The overall weight, the lack of choice for frame sizes, the shorter than expected range, the poor quality of the tools included, and the poor quality of the crank arms. Mine got bent and I had to bring it to the bike shop for fixing it. So who is this e-bike suitable for? I think that could be a variety of different people. Probably it's not the best idea for true mountain bikers who go down hills. Due to the weight and the distribution of the weight, it doesn't feel comfortable, and at higher speeds it can become particularly dangerous, and combined with these zoom brakes, just be extra careful, okay? I think it's suitable for all sorts of terrain, you know, gravel roads, asphalt obviously, although I think it performs a lot better off-road in areas like this one. But I guess for whoever has to go through forests, mountains, etc., and doesn't look into some extreme adventures, this could be a great idea. I think so far it's the smoothest and the most comfortable e-bike I've ever tried, so I can certainly recommend it for the good performance of the motor and the very smooth riding experience that you're going to get. As for quality of the parts, definitely we could ask for more, but I think the full combo is not too bad, although in my opinion a little overpriced. But I guess this fabulous design and the ability to carry extra luggage and loads that can easily handle around 88 kilos. And that's pretty awesome. So that's everything about the review of the Cyrusher XF900. Interesting to hear. What do you think? And do you have a favorite e-bike? Please comment down below. Let me know if any questions or ideas that you have in regard to this e-bike. And don't forget to support the channel. Easiest way is to like the video, maybe subscribe so that you don't miss any of our further tech inspections. I'm Michael, been such a pleasure, and look forward to seeing you in our next episode. Bye!